We talked before about how, for you, story trumps gameplay, and for me, it's a bit of a delicate balance. I won't stand gameplay if I don't, if I, no matter how good the story is, if the gameplay is horrible or if it's not the type of gameplay I like. That's why I was hesitant to play Hades, because the story and characters were dope, but I wasn't sure if I liked the gameplay. Turns out I did, but and I haven't experienced a story that was so bad that I did not want to play the game, no matter how good the gameplay was. And I don't think I ever will, honestly, because most of the games I play is like, and you disagree at this point, as long as the story is okay, which I think the story in Watch Dogs is going to be okay, it's going to be passable. I'll enjoy it enough to where it doesn't take me out of the game. And
I'm trying to.
but the gameplay, I think the gameplay is going to be amazing. Like for me, it's like, oh, I thought you, okay.
Because what you just said reminded me. You said, story trumps gameplay, and I do fully agree with that in almost every sense. However, recently, I went to GameStop. Now, just like randomly, like I wasn't there for anything specific. I was just kind of looking around because I don't even really like shop at GameStop anymore. They don't really have anything I want or need typically. But just for old time's sake, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go into GameStop, and I found a game that looked interesting. You know, I love spies, and there's not a lot of spy games around, especially not very good spy games. So like, I'm like, I think I'm going to pick this up. The story is very interesting. This is some of the worst gameplay I've ever had in my life. I could not get past the first mission of this game called
What is that?
13.
Oh, I've never
It's it's apparently a remake of a really popular 2003 video game. Um it the gunplay is terrible. You can't aim very well. The aiming is very slow. The gameplay is very slow. The AI is incredibly stupid. And I looked it up, and apparently I'm not the only one having this issue. This game has so many glitches. It's the glitchiest game I've ever played in my life, and I played Cyberpunk on day one. It's the glitchiest game I've ever played in my entire life. The end of the very first mission, you're supposed to pick up a key to unlock a car. The key didn't spawn in anywhere.
Yeah, the reason
Like I didn't get past.
Yeah, the reason for me that gameplay trap story is because, I mean, one is a video game. I'm gonna have to play it, and also I don't think I'm ever gonna encounter a story that I dislike so much that the gameplay isn't enough to hold me on. Like I haven't experienced that yet. All the games I dislike playing, I think the gameplay is too repetitive and boring, and I don't like the story because it's also boring. Like that's Horizon, Assassin's Creed, the most recent ones to me are just very repetitive and too boring. And there's just too much to do. To me, I told you this before, there's three metrics. There's length of the game, there's the story, and there's the gameplay. The gameplay is too repetitive and boring, I hate it. If it's too long, I hate it. And if the story is boring, I hate it. And that's what all the most recent Assassin's Creed games are to me. Too long, too boring, too repetitive in terms of gameplay. And it was the same thing with Control, except Control wasn't too long. It was just boring
Control
story.
is no. If there's any game you could say is too long, it's Control.
No, is it? No,
I believe
I played all the way through. So if it's too long, there we go. All three of them. It ticks all three things that I don't like. And Persona
Control's
5,
definitely not boring though.
Persona
I don't
5
know
had
what
a,
you mean by that. It's not
the thing
boring
about,
or
and the thing is about Persona 5 is great story. Fun gameplay. It wasn't actually okay gameplay. That's where it starts to fall off for me. Great story, great music. Literally my favorite video game soundtrack. Okay gameplay because turn-based combat, I get bored of it really fast.
I hate turn-based combat with passion.
It is way too long. I also hate it with a passion, but it is way too long. 80 plus hours, still didn't beat it. I was done. I was like, I quit. I'm not gonna beat this. And then what was it? The Royal version came out, and that's even longer. And I was like, I'm never touching that game. But it was fun while it lasted. But yeah, for me, this is why I like hack and slashes so much. The stories in most hack and slashes aren't the best, but they aren't necessarily bad. But the gameplay is always the ones I play. There are definitely some really bad hack and slashes. The one I play.
I was gonna say,
like I said,
I've never terrible hack.
Like I said, because I never play games. I've never played a game, and I don't think I ever will, where the story is so bad that I don't want to play it. So most hack and slashes I play, the stories are good enough for me to continue with it, and the gameplay is superb. I would prefer all of my hack and slashes to be more like God of War, where the gameplay is great and the story is phenomenal. I think Saints Row is going to be great gameplay, good story. Not the best story, not a great story, but a story that serves the gameplay well. But
A story that speaks to you.
I do hope that the story is amazing. I just wish I'm not the fan of the direction they went, but I'm still excited for the game because I've been wanting a new Saints Row for a very long time, and we're finally getting it. You know, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not going to look a BoJack Horseman in the mouth. Okay. So
I don't get that reference because I haven't seen it.
it's a great show. You should watch it.